The views and opinions on this show do not necessarily reflect the views of ESPN Tucson 1490 AM, 94.9 HD Channel 4, or the Arizona Lotus Corporation.
Welcome to Spears and Ali on ESPN Tucson.
Justin Spears, I like that.
With Justin Spears and Ali Farhang on 1490 AM, 94.9 HD Channel 4, ESPN Tucson. Brought to you by Tucson Federal Credit Union, the Volpe team at Nova Home Loans, and Rightway Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
I want to be entertaining, but I'm not stupid enough to compare myself to Ali.
All right, the Arizona football season is right around the corner. And we've got our guy, Arizona offensive coordinator Seth Doege, joining Spears and Ali on ESPN Tucson. Seth, good morning, man. How's it going?
Oh, man, I can't complain. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. So year two for you. Tell us about how you're feeling this year compared to last year.
Yeah, it's a little bit different feeling, especially right now, coming up on July when most of the coaches get a little bit of a break. I don't feel nearly as, last year you're like trying to get an offense in and you're auditing everything that you're doing just because you don't know if it fits the personnel that we have, and constantly meeting with the quarterback just to try to make sure he's comfortable. And it's not that we're not doing that. It's just, it just feels a little different. I feel a lot more confident going in year two, just because obviously Noah coming back and the way he's operating right now, and then how we were able to retain a lot of our players from entering the portal and transferring and bringing a bunch of transfers in and having to feel like you got to reinstall everything. Now it's just kind of adding and subtracting and finding out what works and what doesn't. And so it's been a good off season, and I'm really excited about the direction that it's going.
And with all three coordinators back, yourself, Danny Gonzalez, Craig Nivar as well, it just felt like this spring there was a calmness. There wasn't so much chaos. There wasn't so much learning. It was more stacking. Could you elaborate on that and just the camaraderie that you guys bring and how that affected the team?
Yeah, I think there's a competitive advantage when you have, camaraderie and chemistry amongst the team, and that happens only when you can bring guys back, whether it be coaches and players. And I thought Coach Brennan did a great job of that. Obviously, a lot of the coaches decided to stay when it seems like everybody on the staff had an opportunity to leave, and everybody chose to stay. And I thought that to me tells you a lot about where this direction of this program's headed, and why we want to work for Brent Brennan. And then that kind of like trickles down to the players, and I feel like the players felt something different too. They felt magic in the building. We have magic in the building because there's true trust and love in that building right now. And there's a lot of confidence. And like I said, the competitive advantage is bringing back year two players in a year two system, whether that be offense, defense, or special teams. And that's a competitive advantage. Why? Because not many people in the country get to do that. Whether coach leaves and there's a new scheme, or, you got this mass exodus of players and you're having to bring all these transfers in, which are very talented players, but you're having to teach a new scheme. And that could be as simple as like a new O-line coach teaching a different way to step. All those guys are learning how to step differently. And it just seems like we got a lot of confidence in our building right now with the direction and the belief in what we're doing schematically, and obviously with the edge that we're creating and the culture that we're creating under Coach Brennan. It's been awesome.
And the guy leading the charge on the offensive side of the ball, and really the entire team, is Noah Fafita. And this summer has been big for him. He's at the Manning Passing Academy, winning a couple events. What was it like for you to see Noah be one of the standouts at the Manning Passing Academy? And you, considering you were a part of the Manning Passing Academy when you were at Texas Tech, what does shining at an event do for your upcoming season?
I made a tweet that are we surprised that he won the accuracy competition? Because I'm not. Right? Yeah. I mean, and here's my thing, and I don't want to get too much on a rant, okay? Because obviously there's feed that comes on your social media, and all the feed is about these national names, and I'm sure they're really, really talented players. But they're talking about how great of a day they had throwing the football in shorts and t-shirts. Well, put some pressure on somebody to see who wins the competition. My money's on Noah Fafita, and guess what? He wins it. I mean, that guy's different, and the thing is like he doesn't get in my opinion, he doesn't get the national media attention that he deserves. I mean, this guy's he's a Heisman Trophy candidate. There's no question about that. He's a first-team All-Big 12. There was only one guy selected first-team All-Big 12, and that was Noah Fafita. And I feel like people forgot about that. And he did it with a lot less than most people had. And so I'm really excited about his shit. And the other thing about it too is like I said, I feel like I'm going on a rant. I don't want to feel like I'm ranting, but I also want to feel like I'm protecting this guy because I feel like he's getting disrespected half the time. Now, I do think there's times where I think our media, I think you guys do a great job of understanding who he is because I think he is a generational quarterback. I don't know if I'll ever coach a kid like this ever again. So every morning that I go to the office, I got to pinch myself. But what I'm doing is just like I feel like, man, this guy deserves more because he works his tail off. Now, he won't ever say that. He doesn't feel that way just because of the player he is. Now, on the other end of that, it keeps our edge. Because he's been backed in a corner his whole life. That's when he plays his best, when he feels like nobody believes in him, because nobody's believed in him his entire life. Well, good. Keep not writing about him. Keep writing about all these other dudes that haven't done anything. That just because they're big and pretty, whatever. We'll show you.
Hell yeah. And why do you think that is? Is it all comes down to height? Is that what it is with Noah?
Yeah, I just don't think, I think people look at him and they look at a 5'8" quarterback. Like he can't really be that good. Well, guess what? Turn the tape on. I don't know how many text messages and compliments I get from my former colleagues, guys in the business, for OCs, just people that I know and are friends with that watch our tape, whether they're studying us or they just want to see what Noah's like, or they watch him on TV because they have an off week, or they're playing late or we're playing early, whatever it is. And I get a ton of text messages like, "Hey man, your quarterback's a freaking dog." And I'm like, "Yeah, this dude's a warrior." That's the best way to describe him. He's a warrior.
And you've talked about, you take such great pride in maximizing Noah Fafita's talents and doing whatever it is that you can to make him successful. And some of those days require it doesn't require you. You decide, I'm going to be at the facility until the wee hours of the morning. During the season, I'm just curious, Seth, what does an average workday look like for you between practice, film session, everything?
Man, I mean, I really don't want to say. I just know that it's long. I'm working on it. I do think there's times where I can be more efficient. And I do think, obviously going back to your question earlier is the competitive advantage of bringing the staff back. Well, this is year 2 for me with my staff. This is year 2 with Bobby Wade. This is year 2 with Josh Oglesby, who we've never worked together before last year. So we're trying to figure each other out as well. I feel like I can delegate some responsibility now and not just kind of take all of it. Those guys are really good coaches. And so that's going to make us way more efficient this year is those guys understand what I'm trying to get out of the scheme. Now, there's still going to be long nights because, like you said, man, I'm a perfectionist when it comes to making sure the plan is exactly right for Noah. I want him to have an answer for every play. And if I can't, and so sometimes it just takes me a while to find that answer. And once I can find that answer, I can move on. But I take it personal, and I put a lot of pride and work into, what I do and to try to give him, like I said, an answer to every little thing that we're doing on game day. So he doesn't feel like he's just out there stuck. He's got some type of answer each play. And I'm not always right either. Obviously it's an imperfect game coached by imperfect individuals, played by imperfect individuals. So we're going to make mistakes, but I would rather work to not make one than you go home and feeling like, okay, we'll just figure this out on the fly.
And of course, there's a lot of talk about the big guys up front on the offensive line after losing a couple of guys, but you return some impressive dudes. One of those guys being Alexander Deuce. I could not believe what I saw, him power cleaning 405 pounds. Just insane. With Deuce, with Rhino, with Lotto, with all the other guys, how do you feel about the offensive line and where those guys are heading?
I feel like we don't talk about those guys enough because that's probably going to be one of our strengths with our football team. I mean, Deuce, like you said, first of all, we had 57 guys power clean over 300. That's a strong football team.
Yeah.
And it was led by the O-line and D-line. But anyways, Deuce, not only does he power clean 405, he's at 335 pounds, by the way. And he's broad jumping 9 feet plus. He's running as best as I've ever seen him run. He's leading the charge. Like you see this guy like lead in the like on conditioning days or in the weight room. This dude has a ton of juice. It's like I don't know. He's a brand new person, man, and he's doing it. And I know why he does it. He does it for his teammates. He's a great teammate. And so like those type of guys. And then you look at Lotto. Lotto's like 325 pounds as well, moving. I mean, he's moving incredible weight that he couldn't even touch last year. And then a guy like I watched Zach Henning drop his excuse my language, but he dropped his ass to the floor to catch a power clean yesterday. That like 300 crazy amount, 350 pounds. And he looked extremely flexible. I mean, that guy's kind of an athletic freak too. So, I mean, I'm really excited about those guys. Rhino's weighing, 325 pounds right now and moving really well. So, Oglesby does a tremendous job with those guys. I'm really excited about them. I really do think we're in a healthy spot. And I think that's hard to say in college football sometimes is like the O-line position. Are you in a healthy position? Yeah, I think we are. I think when we decide on who our starting five are, I think we're going to be really talented there. And then I do think we have some young guys that are really developing into their own that are going to shock some people, really just like Lotto did last year. I think Louis Akpa has a chance.
Yeah.
I think he's doing really, really good things. I think Javion Gu is going to be a dynamic center one day. I think some of the transfers we brought in, Jake Griffin, has made some tremendous strides over the offseason. So I'm excited to where these guys are, and I'm excited to kind of see their progress and get them in fall camp. Obviously in the summer with those guys, it's hard to evaluate because we don't get to hit anybody. Nothing's really truly violent. Everything's really on air, and if they do get to have a combination or put hands on anybody, it's just an individual drill, which they look really good right now. But obviously we need to get into camp and see how they operate as a unit, which I think is really, really important. But from my standpoint, my evaluation so far, I'm really excited about the group and where they're going.
And the weapons around Noah, between the receivers that you have returning, the guys you got of the portal, tight end, running backs. I know you guys were shorthanded in the spring, but those guys are going to be healthy for the upcoming season. How do you feel about the guys around Noah Fafita, and how do you think that the supporting cast can help take this offense to the next level?
I'm super confident in them. I'm really excited about it. I think we can be really explosive. The one guy that through the spring, Ked and Quincy were limited. And now you see those two guys move around, and you're like, man, we have two really explosive running backs, really powerful running backs that I feel really, really confident in. And then Cole Rusk and having TP start to get back, and then Shane King, watching Shane King kind of emerge, because Shane, we call him Shug. Shug's kind of emerging as an athletic freak, man, and he's doing it at like 243 pounds now, which is, he came in like 230. So. Moving at that weight and the way he moves can be a problem for people. So I think that we're starting to develop some depth there at the tight end position. And then I think the wideouts I think the wideouts can be really freaky. I know Noah's really excited about the wideout group because we talked about it yesterday, and he was trying to compare it to some of the guys that they had at the Manning Passing Academy. Some of those guys that were from the SEC and were just out there throwing, and then just talking to quarterbacks and kind of what their struggles have been over the offseason or what they're really good at. And he just heard like a lot of guys aren't very confident in their receiving core, where he is like extremely confident in his, because he's extremely confident in Trey. He's extremely confident in Gio. He's extremely confident in Sticks. And then you have guys like Mizell. Mizell's made a huge jump from his true freshman year to what he is now. I mean, he's like night and day different person. So I'm really excited about him, because the truth is he's got elite speed. And I don't know if anybody in the country, not just in the Big 12, in the country can run with him. And then you got guys like Rodney Gallagher, who's just he's just a freaking dog, man. Like perfect slot position player, just great at filling space, really explosive, hard to tackle, and tough as they come. So, I mean, we got a deep guy. And then you got guys like Brandon Phelps. Phelps, was probably the most improved player from the end of the season up until spring ball, and he ended up getting hurt in spring ball. But he's still operating with the same mindset, which is incredible. And I'm really excited to get him back on the field. So we have some special talent in that receiver room. So I'm really excited about it. I will say this, it's the first time I've been excited about a receiver room since I've been at USC. And that was with, Michael Pittman, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Drake London. We had some real ones in that room. And I'm not saying we have a bunch of first rounders in this room, but we can be very, very explosive.
That is Arizona offensive coordinator Seth Doege joining Spears and Ali on ESPN Tucson. Football season right around the corner, man. Seth, I know it's a busy summer for you, man. We thank you again for taking your time out of your busy schedule to join us.
No, man, I appreciate you, man. I always love talking to you. So
Hell yeah,
anytime.
man. Thanks, Seth. Appreciate you.